Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
And I'm Craig Klein.
Craig Klein, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, dude. I'm doing
I,
well.
did you see that the great Barack Obama put out his yearly summer list, his playlist? And I guess he does this every year.
Oh, cool.
And first of all, Obama fucks. I just picked out a random song on there called I Like the Way You Kiss Me by Artemis. And the dude's like, can we make a scene? Can we make it loud? Obviously, talking about making a production of them fucking. She
Mhm.
says, she sings, it's a guy and a girl singing in the song. She sings, I hit it from the back so you don't get attached. I'm like, Barack Obama.
It is strange, you know. I mean, I'm fully in support of everybody, like whatever. I, I can't even believe I said that, but like, it is weird to see political candidates, presidential candidates aligned with. Now I'm gonna drop that ass. I'm gonna fuck
Right,
that
right.
suck that dick, and it's like.
Just looking at the list,
This is literally a presidential campaign.
yeah.
What's going on here? And then I guess, it's just part of the culture now. So I guess we're not supposed to like actually pay attention to what the lyrics actually mean. It's just a vibe.
But you are a
I
former
know.
president, and you still say Mr. President, and you're
Yeah.
giving me your opinion, obviously, about
Yeah.
Drake and Kendrick. I can tell. I know what side you're on. It's Kendrick's. It's
Sick.
just funny.
Sick. That's pretty cool. I mean, also, it would be pretty reprehensible if he went with a Canadian. He is the American
Hello,
president.
thank you. And he put it out just before the Elon Musk Trump interview. That had to be timing. Just
Hmm.
one more reason to do
How
something else
long is
instead of supporting
this?
Trump and Elon,
By the way,
is what I
let's
think.
call it what it is. It wasn't a fucking interview. It was like,
It's an
let
ass
me suck
kissing.
this guy's dick right in
Thank
front of you.
you.
And by the way, unapologetically, let me be clear as we start. This is not an interview. I'm gonna suck this guy's dick in front of you because I want to, because I
He
want
wants a
to.
job.
I
He
don't even
wants
know
a
why.
job. We'll get into it, but he wants a job with Trump. I think that can't be clear.
I don't think it is.
Yeah,
In fact, okay. Can I give like
please.
a quick assessment of this thing?
I heard the whole thing too.
Mark Cuban was on the Daily Show
Okay.
with Jon Stewart. The one of the nights that is Jon Stewart. I don't know how recent it was,
Okay.
but he did a he was saying in short, and at least this is what I got out of it, that like the person who owns Twitter, right? They have a direct contact, right? One person to person contact with every single world leader. And every single world leader needs their platform, which means that hypothetically speaking, I didn't even think about this. The person who owns Twitter might actually be the most powerful person in the world. And
Okay.
and Elon Musk might be that like calculated and nefarious, knowing that it doesn't matter what America thinks of it. He's bagging every fucking world leader in his pocket to do whatever, to get subsidies, to build factories, to get resources, to get whatever the fuck it is. He's going to succeed. And in a way, like let's just think about the electric car, right?
Okay.
Okay. So if a Democrat is in office, they're going to subsidize electric cars. They want that.
Right.
The Republicans don't. So who's he got to grease? He doesn't have to grease the Democrats.
I see. Right.
He's got to. So what if he was literally doing that with every single world leader around and just playing to their fucking interests? And who's easier than Donald Trump? And how audacious for this troll and like long play world leader in Elon Musk
Yes.
to say, like, fine, I'll take the L right here and look like a dipshit. 20 years from now, you'll all be sucking my dick.
I see that. Okay.
You know what I mean? It's the only way that I can suss out.
Either way, it came off. It's very fake of him.
It's
Whether I'm right
very
or you're
fake.
right.
Yeah, yeah. And it's the only way that I can suss out somebody who I have to believe he is
I'd have to.
intelligent.
Right.
Like he is a smart guy. And if he's a smart guy, then there's got to be something I don't see about why he's up this guy's ass.
Right. It's you know what it's like. The religious people you see on TV. Like, can you be a complete idiot and have a $7 billion jet
Right.
package? So then come on, you don't believe in this God holy water.
Somebody told me that there's at least one person in every church that knows that it's bullshit, and that's the person that's saying it.
Right. I see that.
You
I
know?
see that. That's where I stand. You be when the he said he goes, it's not an interview, it's a conversation. And I think that
Hmm.
was him telling us he will say stupid shit and there will be no fact checking, meaning I
Uh-huh.
won't say, no, you don't understand. It's still global warming, even though things are getting
Uh-huh.
colder, you idiot.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he is a smart guy, smart enough to know why
Uh-huh.
did you let Trump go and just say, how's there global warming if things are colder in places?
And it's just so weird because I mean we have rules against this. You know what I mean? Like you can't NBC can't sit down with Donald Trump for an hour and give him unfiltered access to the entire population of America to tune in for free on their televisions, right?
Right.
You can't do that and not offer it to Kamala Harris. You know what I mean? And the
Yes.
exact like with FCC rules and regulations uh, defining what exactly is going on, right? You just can't. Well, fucking, like not only is he doing that, he's like backboning everything and being like, yeah, you're right. Like,
Yeah.
and his only argument, the funniest part was like
Oh,
he
you found an
started,
argument? What was one?
well, he started it off by saying, like, it's such a troll when I speak it back. Well, I was unsure. And then when you got
Oh, of who to vote for, you're saying.
when you got shot, I realized and you went down and you came back up with your fist in the air saying fight, fight, fight. I thought that's the type of person that needs to like dude, you're a smart person.
Right.
You're a smart person, and that's what you think running a world is like?
And then Trump goes into uh in the hospital and doctors and many smart people. They said there's so much blood in the air EAR.
Right.
So that's crazy that I'm still here. And it's
Uh-huh.
I was saved by God. I already believed in God, but now for sure, and all the smart people are saying this that they believe too. But I'm humbled by it that God took care of me just then. And I can't believe Elon Musk is like,
Yeah.
yep, yep, yep. Like you know what?
Yeah.
Trump has this phrase, everything's like a dog. Put him down like a dog, lies like a dog.
Yep.
Elon was a fucking dog. Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep. Yep. Except when it went against his interest. And when they started talking about nuclear and
Oh, okay. You
yeah,
know
go
what?
ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
I do have a section on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go in order
Okay.
a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
First of all, I caught it at 8 o'clock. It didn't go live until
Me too.
8:40. They were obviously struggling. It wasn't an accident. I heard so at 8:30 there was some kind of hold music on Donald Trump's side. Then you hear his side click on because you hear like rustling on somebody's desk that you could tell that they're texting and frantic to the other side wherever they were
Uh-huh.
separate. And it was only audio. I didn't think how this thing called Spaces on X works, but it's only audio, it seems. So anyway, then that goes away. And then Elon starts talking finally 10 minutes later and says, oh, we were attacked. We have a DDoS attack. People were trying to shut us down. It's like, I have to think that's a trick. What did you think?
Well, did you see any names drop out? Like nothing was going on.
Right,
The DDoS, so like that, what that is like essentially if there's a tube and there's like tons of, marbles, there's only so many marbles that can go through the tube at one time,
right.
right? And it overwhelms the tube.
And they're acting like a hacker put so many people in there just to fuck shit up so real people can't get in.
The people that were joining
Yes.
kept going up. Not like psh, there was nothing that was failing. Nothing was
Right.
breaking on Twitter. Nowhere. Nowhere was it. So the only thing that was being affected was the communication between Trump and like it's absolute garbage bullshit. It's a complete fucking lie. And I don't even believe what one of the things that was interesting because I was driving. I was in traffic. I had like an hour drive. And so I put it
The car.
on Twitter,
Right.
and I was like, "What the fuck? There's nothing happening. Like, am I not getting it?" So I went to YouTube, and I typed that in, and the only like simulcast that came up was Tim Pool, and he was going to be like commentating it, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And then they were explaining like, oh well, I think that they're just obviously just waiting for it to get to 1 million people. Like Trump was like, I'll only speak to 1 million people, and Elon was like, yeah, cool, troll. And I was like, is that what they did? And then I was like, that's crazy because it's like 30 minutes. Like
Right.
who doesn't announce or say anything that's going on? It's just like leave people in the dark 30 minutes listening to nothing, right? So I'm thinking it's got to be more than that. Then uh they were talking about the occupancy, right? And it was going up at such a steady thing. And since I was just listening to them, I was like watching the second hand on my dashboard. I had like the clock
Right.
set, and I'm like watching it and I'm like, it's going up so like
Slow and steady.
seamlessly
Right.
and on a perfect trajectory, right? At every single interval up to 1 million and then suddenly at 1 million, right? Like they're ready
Hmm.
to go. Give me a fucking break. I don't believe that there were 1 million people in there, not even
Hmm.
close. I think that they were lying about the numbers. I think that it was all a bunch of back end like fuckery. I don't believe, and this is what my point was earlier, that there's no rules and regulations on this broadcast for a presidential, basically like campaign juncture, right?
Right.
Like there's no telling what they were doing to create theater and drama in this like seemingly just like off the cuff, we're just talking, you know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
like it's a new era. And do I think that the people that are in charge over at Twitter to do this are not manipulative enough to figure that out? Fuck that. I mean, there's a conspiracy that I believe in. That's not conspiracy. That's theater, baby. That's
Hmm.
that's broadcasting.
Yeah, at first I was like, it was fun that it wasn't working at first because these
Mhm.
guys have big egos, so
Mhm.
they really had to that'd be a fun meeting to hear them discuss like, but are we going to look stupid? It's worth it. In fact, we'll say it's an attack that my whole thing is free speech. We'll say they're attacking free speech.
Of
Okay,
course.
perfect. Because I have to imagine Trump, if there was 40 minutes of
Huh?
fucking problems, he'd be like, well, not today, Elon. Then you
How
know
do,
what I mean? This isn't fucking working. I'm
hey,
out of here.
come on. And that's the other thing. 190,000 people were on there when I started tuning in at 5 o'clock on the dot here pacifically, right? Okay.
Right.
Um, 5:08, it was like 220,000 people or something like that. Okay.
8:05, you mean? What'd you
Yeah.
say? 5:08?
5:08 because
Oh,
it
I'm
was, it
sorry,
was
your
my
time,
time.
your
So
time.
8:08 your time.
Okay.
Um, and then 30 minutes later, without any announcements, without anything, it went up almost 800,000. It doesn't make any sense that people would just wait in the dark like that and it would keep fulfilling. If people were that interested in hearing the president, but you're saying that another 300,000 people joined the room that weren't on time, that came 40 minutes late to a nothing show?
Right.
I don't believe it. I just don't fucking believe it. That's not how crowds work ever.
Yeah, I didn't look at the numbers like that. I was doing
It's
dishes and
it's
shit with
total bullshit.
headphones.
It's
Yeah.
total bullshit. And then Tim Pool, just the fact that like they're commentating, they're talking, and he's like 120,000, 406,000, 480,000. And he just kept on. And I'm like, this is all part of the gig. This is the show.
Right.
The show is the crowd. And
It,
it even started off. Wow, I've heard you broke every fucking rule in the book. What the fuck are you talking
Right,
about?
right.
What book is there? What what
Right.
what rules? This is Twitter. This I think this is the first thing.
There was
And
he brought it up a couple times, and one of the times Trump goes, I mean, yeah, I'm seeing the oh no, Elon Musk was about to say how many people are there. And he
Mhm.
was giving like a weird answer, but he goes, in the future, there'll be a couple hundred, and you think he's gonna say million. He doesn't even finish, and Trump goes, Yeah, 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 record breaking. Yeah. Like he didn't give you a number.
He doesn't because it's not what it's about, obviously, you know?
Right. All right, so let's see. The global warming stuff was funny to me because and I think even though yes, I'm agreeing with you about it, the beginning being a setup, but it doesn't mean that they understand each other. And I have to assume, like I said, Elon Musk is much smarter than Trump, and like Trump brought up global warming and goes, by the way, if global warming is real, we're gonna have more beachfront property. And Elon didn't laugh because I didn't think it was a joke either.
Yeah, it's not a joke. It's not a joke.
He's like, ah, people wouldn't
One
mind that.
eighth, he said 1/8 of an inch, and it's not true. They're like
Right.
they were literally. He lives in Florida. Everybody knows it, and there are literally islands that are becoming underwater right now. It's just happening. Venice
I
is drowning.
what do you think when he talks about the border and people coming in from other countries, and I think he mistook people saying asylum seekers. I think he thinks that means people are leaving asylums
He
like
does.
crazy
He
places. I
does.
really believe that.
He does. No, he literally does. That's exactly the way he was using it. He did. And people have said I've heard that on the news that that's exactly people
Oh
are
yeah.
saying like inside of his inner circle. Yeah, just doesn't know the difference. He doesn't know words.
He get
He knows feelings.
so yeah, there's no real answers. Like I guess the conversation means you talk, I nod, and he brought up what's we have to watch out about nuclear war, and I'll get to the nuclear stuff, and things are going to happen. He goes at one point he said if there could be World War III, and then he caught himself and goes, but I'll stop it. But anyways, we have to worry about these other countries, and you know what? We're going to build an Iron Dome. We're gonna have a United States Iron Dome. By
Hmm.
the way, yeah, let's not worry
Hmm.
about free lunches for kids. Let's worry about
Uh-huh.
an Iron Dome. And he goes, I mean, Israel has one. They call it
Uh-huh.
the Iron Dome. And then he says, other places have them too. Quite frankly. And then they just move on. Like
I
only
know.
he knows the secret that
Right.
we're not as protected as countries he won't bother mentioning.
Uh-huh. And by the way, that's why America has been able to succeed throughout this industrial revolution so well, because we are surrounded by only two allies, and the rest are the giantest oceans on the planet.
Right.
We're pretty good. We're pretty good.
Right.
We're just pretty fucking good.
We have a
Where
water dome.
yeah. France, eat your heart out. We have literally thousands of miles of ocean all around us.
Right. Japan had a nuclear meltdown.
Yeah, yeah,
We were
yeah,
breathing just fine.
yeah, yeah. Okay. That was such a weird conversation because Trump was saying how bad nuclear energy is.
Right.
No, but this is my theory. Trump thought that they were talking about nuclear bombs because he says
Yes.
nuclear when he's talking about nuclear defense, nuclear
War.
bombs.
Right.
Yes, exactly. Nuclear is the real problem. Elon thought that they were talking about nuclear power
Right.
because he's an
He uses it.
engineer.
Yeah.
Yes, and because that there is his interest. And
It's like
and
misunderstanding the word asylum. So he goes, you know what?
exactly.
Global warming. I'm worried about nuclear warming. And Elon's like, right. But what do you mean, right? And then first, Elon likes nuclear, and they really just seem to be, I don't know, ignoring each other. Trump at one
Yep.
point says, yeah, I see what you're saying about nuclear. And then Elon catches himself. He goes, we use nuclear power. I mean, no offense to coal. No offense to coal. We all love coal. Like, no, you don't.
Yes.
And then Trump goes, yeah, nuclear. Yeah, maybe it has a branding problem when you hear the word nuclear, and then moves on to another
Exactly.
topic.
Well, no, and then uh Elon said he was like, no, it's not dangerous. And then Trump was like, well, you think about Russia and you think about Japan, they can't go back to that land for 3,000 years. And and Elon is like, no, that's not true.
Right.
Fukushima is still there right now. It's okay. I flew there and ate vegetables to prove that it's safe. And I was like, oh wait, I think both of these fucking guys are idiots. They're both of these fucking because I don't think that it's safe to eat radiated food from radiated soil. I don't think that that's good.
Also, by the way, it makes me think of the Olympics and that poison water that Olympians are getting sick from that. And but they were like, the mayor went in there. Like, I doubt you did what a triathlete does. However you went in there.
And also, like, that's some real fucking fuckery. You know what I mean? And fuck
Yeah.
Barack Obama for that too, because remember he did that in Flint. He was like, "I'll
Mm,
drink the fucking water,"
right.
and like, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to believe that you pulled that out of the rusty ass fucking lead filled cancer ridden pipes that the
Right.
kids at the elementary school in the fucking war zone are going. Give me a break. Give me a break. What a bunch of fucking lies.
I blinked and it all of a sudden Donald Trump goes, "Well, drill baby drill." And I'm like, "Okay, let me think." That had nothing to do with anything. It'd be like when
Yeah.
Elon found he wasn't, I guess, half an argument about nuclear war. He caught himself about the word nuclear. He caught himself, and then it was like, well, anyway, yeah. Can we go back to like nice things in this country? A real nothing, and then Trump could throw out something stupid like drill baby drill with no explanation. By the way,
Yeah.
definitely sounds like a troll, doesn't it? Drill baby drill. All right, well, way to
It's
get
so
America together. Then he brings up Gavin Newsom, and I think, and doesn't give any information or facts. This guy's liberal, so he doesn't like him. And he called him Gavin Newscum. So Gavin
yeah.
Newsom has a new nickname now, New
Yeah.
Scum. Again, Elon didn't laugh. He didn't know if it was a joke or this guy really doesn't know his name. But I have to think it was deliberate. So Trump mentions getting rid of the Department of Education. And he says, you leave it up to the states. Not much more information. Then he says, I mean, I hope the states at least teach English, right? I mean, I hope what they're going to teach is at least English. What kind of xenophobia little wink is that? Yes,
Yeah.
they're going to teach
California.
English.
It's California. It's yeah. It's exactly what you think. It's a California shit.
So I would report back every so often. Liz is smarter than to watch this stuff. I felt like I had to. I can't imagine ever seeing a Trump rally. The dynamic between those two, even if it's just looking like idiots. Again, I thought it was going to be video. Let me at least check in once. I know I'm not going to be convinced about anything, but I do want to check in. That's why I saw it. She's smarter. She doesn't like her time wasted. Instead, I think she saw Love Is Blind. Much smarter choice. But I was checking in, and then she wrote back, have either of them had an orgasm yet? Good point. They're
Yeah.
just sitting there
Yeah.
whacking it.
Yeah. Yeah.
At one point, Trump goes, Kamala is more left than Bernie. And I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know it's an insult because it's supposed to scare you somehow about communism, but
Well, here's the thing, though. I think it was a net fail. I think it was a net fail. I mean, the people who are going to vote for Trump are going to vote for Trump, but actually, I think some of them are coming over to the other side now,
he,
especially with Waltz.
he
That
brought up,
dude is fucking badass,
I
and
like
and
him,
for
the,
and for
the new VP.
once,
Yeah.
somebody is like speaking off the cuff. I don't know if I said this. I don't know if I said this on your show,
Hmm.
but there the one thing that I don't want to see the Kamala campaign do is have her say the same thing over and over and over again. It looks contrived, it looks fucking dorky. And that's the only thing that's gonna if literally if she just came out there and spoke off the cuff to people,
Right.
you know what I mean? We win. We win hands down. And a bunch of those people are going to come over to this side. But this like politician like makeup stuff, I just hope that she's not in too much makeup and I hope that Donald Trump looks like because nothing will point that out more than when it's only one candidate and the other person is a woman that looks just, good. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then they look dolled up with their fucking, it's gonna look amazing.
By the way, Trump brought that up. Like, you don't want an ugly president. He said
I know.
Melania, talking
Mhm.
about being the wife. He's comparing them to Kamala being a president. And it's like, we saw Melania and she's beautiful, and Kamala, and then he's sarcastic. He's like, oh no, no, she's a beautiful woman,
Well,
right?
he
Right?
was saying, because there is a Time Life cover that, or Time Life. What era am I from?
Right. You're an old soul.
Yeah. There's a Time cover that has that has a drawing of Kamala on it, right?
Right.
And obviously he resents that. He's really big on Time magazine, right?
Right.
And who's on the cover? So she's on the cover this month, and he said that it doesn't even look like Kamala. They made her look like Melania. Yeah. Yep. And so, like,
Right. Of
why are you making that association? And by the way, it does look like Kamala, but
course.
he just doesn't want to give her anything. He doesn't. By
Yeah.
the way, your wife has only been seen on stage with you. I'm pretty sure, I've been counting, maybe 2 or 3 times in the last year, and twice you leaned in for a kiss and she revolted like this
Yeah.
and shook your hand from a distance and walked away from you and left you holding that bag. And nobody's talking about it because even your enemies, it's just too fucking cringe. It's just
Yeah.
too fucking weird. It's just too weird.
It's too weird. He brought up Waltz, the WALZ, the potential new vice president, and he goes, you know what this guy wants? He wants tampons in boys' bathrooms. And
I
then
know.
it goes to something else. There's nothing more there. Elon doesn't say a fucking thing, but obviously he knows better. It, are I guess so. Are people gonna be like, that's the new future? They
Well,
want
and
tampons up boys' butts?
and also it's because the visiting team for all of these schools, the visiting teams, girls teams, they use the boys' locker rooms.
Yeah.
And so that's why they put that there for the visiting teams who are using those things on a daily basis.
Even if let's say you didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Would you just nod and go, yeah, I don't need tampons in a boy's bathroom. So that means in elementary school that they're
yeah.
they're chopping off dicks and putting in
Well,
pussies.
come on. It's like this fucking this boxer in the Olympics. I mean, what more of an audacious lie about a human being that can actually talk, right?
Right.
All of this stuff is like, and then you've got Joe Rogan and any of these other fucking idiots that are repeating this story. They're not paying attention to the facts. This just is a woman. And also, by the way, not all of us live in fucking Austin, Texas. In fact, this woman lives in a place where she might be fucking murdered
Right.
because of the implication that you've put up there. And also, like, why? She can't even control it now. She can't even control it.
Right.
It's just absolutely absurd. So what my point is that what has been an effective measure for them is to just completely fabricate things out of thin air and just roll with it. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay now. It's okay
What
now.
and is all right, side thing for a second. Is Joe Rogan
Mm-hmm.
a full-on scam artist? Like when he did his
He's in.
special, I was mentioning this the other day. He plays Dom, and
Mm-hmm.
he brings up transgender point, and he goes, "But I don't need them playing on a woman's basketball team." And I'm thinking, why didn't you bring up the boxer?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know that's a bullshit story. Because that's more
Mm-hmm.
timely. You're live right now,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. He
so you pick
is
something that didn't happen, like
I
basketball.
you say that he plays dumb. I have a different take. He plays smart. And he certainly plays smart to his audience because he speaks so confidently. Hey, Jamie, pull up that thing where Tim Waltz changed the flag in Minnesota to a Somali flag. What? I'm not really finding that. Okay, well, he did. He did. Let's look at the let's look at the flags side by side. Well, it's the same blue. and it's the same star, by the way. It's not the same blue. It's not the same star. And with just a little bit of information on a Google search, you see that like this was a statewide thing. Everybody in the population joined. And then when that point is brought up, he says, well, there's a lot of Somalis there. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, what are you saying? So you're actually playing. Yeah. You retweet on Twitter and say, like, I don't know what you're getting your political takes from me. Guy, under challenge, you asserted the belief without listening to any of the points, the pictures side by side. You said out of your own fucking mouth, same blues. They're touching. It's obviously not the same blue. And okay, and that's even stupid that I'm even like pointing that out. But you are fulfilling your fucking bullshit, and you are pretending that you know. You are
Right.
asserting this under challenge. You're being challenged. You are fighting back, and you thought that you won, and now you're saying like I don't fucking know. No, you. That's not what you were saying.
Right. So he
You
does
pretend
mean
to
it.
know.
He does on the I agree with that. He pretends to know on the show, but then you have a different audience with his stand
Mm-hmm.
up. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's when you're playing dumb and acting like, what did
Yes.
I say about vaccines?
Yes, exactly. And I really I used to think that he was one of those guys that was like objective to a fault. I don't mean to give grace to like political incorrectness, but also, you know what I mean? I'm not really of that mind, that political correctness
Hmm.
mind either, right? So I think that I can understand or empathize with somebody who is just going to kind of play devil's advocate and give everybody the benefit of the doubt, right? And I used to kind of think that that's where he was. That's why he was the type of guy that in his 30s or 40s decided to start taking mushrooms. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
open-mindedness is a reasonable trait, even if you're hearing out the worst of it. I'm not going to be offended of that. But he's obviously taking a fucking side,
Yes.
and that is now it's all bullshit. The premise that you roped me in on, we're just, hey man, we're just walking around looking for Bigfoot. Maybe there's a Bigfoot, maybe there's not, but we're not going to find it if we're not open to finding it.
Right.
Well, now you've
It's
you've
not being
you've
cute.
told me that everything is proof of Bigfoot, and you're fucking lying. You're
Right.
fucking lying to me.
In that conversation, you know what? That's the show title, I think. A conversation.
That's
Um,
good. That's good.
he mentioned Putin and how he gets along with Putin. It's like now
Ugh.
Putin's a tough guy, and Kamala's not gonna be able to take care of Putin. Like they're gonna arm wrestle. She won't be able to fucking handle him. I know how to handle him. And he
Mm.
says now Putin did things as a boss you don't even know about. This is a nasty guy, but I get along with him. No follow up. Next point.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
okay, well how about you fill in the American people?
Yeah. I love how
Because we couldn't
he.
handle it like he could handle it. I guess.
I love how when he was talking, he's like, I was talking one time. I was talking to Putin on the phone, and I was like, "Hey, don't do it." And he was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Because
Yeah.
you're not gonna like what I do." And he was like, "No way." And I was like, "Way." And you know
Hmm.
what? We didn't have to talk about it anymore. And he certainly didn't do it. And it was like, "What the
Craig
fuck,
is not
fan fiction?"
exaggerating.
This
Craig
is
is I just want to be clear. Craig's
yeah.
not paraphrasing. He didn't leave anything out. No, we don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Yeah, Putin went, okay, fair enough. You do mean
And
it.
li- and the
Mean
literal
what?
quote, he said, "No way," and I said, "Way." Okay,
Right.
imagine the world that this guy is living in, that he's speaking to hundreds of millions of people, and he thinks that. And I guess they
Swing.
do. I guess they do. I guess they do because it is a cult of personality. It is a useful idiot. I was watching some podcast where they had a spy on, or like it used to be like in the CIA, it was like a international spy, and he said that they were talking about useful idiots, and he was somebody was implying that maybe like Puff Daddy was a psyop, and he was like a useful idiot that they put into
Hmm.
power. And he was like, that's not a useful idiot is Tucker Carlson going on an unrestricted, unregulated platform like X and doing an interview face to face with a fuck with like one of the world's like most nefarious leaders and letting him just speak directly to the conservative base of America with allegiance because it's being passed through Tucker Carlson.
Right. Yeah,
Like
agreed.
that is the gift that could never be given in any other time and place in history.
Were you laughing at the fact that Trump was obviously trying to end the interview because he put enough time in and he's only
Mhm.
repeating himself with his nothings, and Elon wanted it to go on forever? Trump would be like, anyway, this was a great interview
Yeah,
that
he
we
kept on
had.
ending
And then
it.
Elon's like, yeah. So, he yes
Mhm.
anded
Mhm.
when the other guy was going, no, no.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah. And again, your ear, how you feeling? Like, feeling good. Thanks for asking. I'm going to go now. Right. And global warming again. Can I just get you to keep fucking talking? It was very, very awkward and hilarious.
It also didn't it sound like Trump had a like his teeth out or something?
There was, you know what? There's I saw a comic, right? uh he added everybody, but he's like,
Mhm.
hey, at real Donald Trump, Elon's trolling you. He added a lisp to your speech. Yeah, something was going on, it seemed.
Something's going on.
Yeah.
Something's going on. Okay. I want to go back to where I started
Hmm.
and just bring this point up again. What if this is a long play by Elon Musk? Like a 10-year international takeover, long play, like bagging.
The leaders.
Even if Trump doesn't win, he still wins because he's it's gonna be so easy for him to pass over. Like he was fucking Grimes, Like
Right.
I got a kid named Numbers. I'm cool. You know what I mean?
Uh,
But right now he's like a trans-hating, literally Trump funding. He is.
yeah.
I heard it on some Fox News stuff. He has fundamentally changed the Trump campaign like overnight. Like
Yeah.
his money in, and if he wanted to throw $300 million into Trump's campaign, he could and never look back, never even think about it.
Sure. Oh yeah. And Elon said this during the interview, that he's glad that to have this interview because maybe people get another version of Elon. Elon saying this about himself because he's surprised that he comes off right wing. He goes, I'm moderate. If anything, I lean to the left. And Trump has just changed my
Mhm.
mind. And he says, "quote If you're in the moderate camp, support Trump, or we're in deep trouble." Whoever thought that recently Elon's left? Never mind moderate. Or moderate, never mind left. Yes,
If
of course he's
you're in
right.
the middle, if you're in the middle,
And then Trump added, I'm just hoping for an honest election. And there's Elon. Yeah. Like, what? We know there was rigged shit. People are in jail for rigged shit. Everything you said is a hoax, the Russian hoax, the Georgia hoax. People are in jail for this shit.
people are in jail for it, and it's legit.
Uh,
It's so weird how he can just like rewrite history right in front of our faces.
because I don't even know what Trump's saying. And he just brought up all of a sudden, when I'm doing all these different things, making America better, all the generals agree with me. They thank me. For what and who
For
and
what?
what? Well,
And
she'll play
also,
that audio.
and also,
Why are they so silent?
all of the generals have gone public. I've
Yeah,
never heard a general talk about a president badly in my entire life. All of your janitors have gone public, written books, and said, you're literally the most dangerous thing in American history.
right.
What the fuck? Who are we
and,
listening to? Who are you guys listening to?
and when Trump would bring up some non-point, some lie, and be like, You know, these prisoners are coming from other countries. You probably read about that. And Elon's always like, yeah. Well, Elon, did you read about other things? Trying to keep this guy on the phone line, but you can't bring up, yeah, you know what else I read about? Rape. You know what else I read about? An insurrection. You know what else I happened to read about?
Mhm.
Stealing votes. You know what I
Uh-huh.
happened to read about? None of that came up in this 2-hour interview.
The irony of that is that Trump says, Kamala would never do something like that. She only takes nice interviews.
Right.
What are we talking about? You're like literally
She
in the
wouldn't be able to
most.
handle you, Elon. Elon's like, that's right. She doesn't understand a
And they were
conversation.
agreeing on it. It was
Yeah.
like that. Like, uh-huh. It's like,
Mm.
wait, guys, what the fuck are you talking about? You've literally got each other's cocks in your mouth, and you're saying like nobody else would enjoy this.
Right. Right.
This is tough. This is tough work we're going through right now.
We were honest and we got it out there. Um, Cindy Adams is the gossip columnist for the New York Post. She's a Trump supporter.
I
She
remember you not liking this person.
I don't know what it's silly how it bothers me,
Yeah.
but I do read the Daily News, the liberal paper, and the Post. I skimmed through the right wing paper. And so and I'm not necessarily into celebrity gossip per se, but if you highlight somebody's name, maybe I take a look. Anyway, that's what her kind of article is. I ran into Johnny Depp, and I gave her this voice. I pretend she's a smoker. She actually has a sweet voice. I've heard her in interviews. But I picture this like, listen, honey. And you can picture how I'm miming a cigarette. Let me tell you what's going on. You got Johnny Depp. I go, Johnny, where you going? And he goes, I can only go forward. Only in New York. And I'm like, you didn't say nothing. Why does it bother me? You're
Yeah.
really on some kind of weird high horse, like you're doing the Lord's work, and you're saying nothing. And so I thought this news story that I just happened to come across was interesting. The title is "A Graduate Only in New York." She just graduated high school. This Cindy Adams.
So,
I'm gonna look up her age. Go ahead.
but I mean, that's kind of cool, I guess, that she's risen to prominence, being a. I mean, like what? Honestly, Keith, what are the qualifications of being a gossip columnist? It's having your ear to the ground. You hired a gossip columnist that was a complete dirtbag. Did they?
Right. I
What
don't
what
believe
is
her
even their
college
name?
stories. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
believe
yeah, yeah. I
Patrice's
don't think
college
that. Yeah,
stories.
yeah, right. I mean, all you have to do is kind of be like connected, and at least this person sounds like they were connected. Maybe
She's 94, just graduated high school. Um,
94.
94. So, first of all, how did she get this far without an education? Good for her. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's pretty impressive too. School has changed, she wrote. In my day, it was shoulder bags. Today, it's shoulder holsters, meaning for a gun. That's it. That's the clever
Oh,
thing. I went to has nothing to do with anything. Just throwing that little joke out there to get your attention. I went
okay.
to high school so long ago, the Dutch hadn't even haggled for our 15-mile island yet. Like, okay, I don't even want to Google that. Okay.
Manhattan.
Yeah, I get it. I
The answer,
raced
yeah.
through Andrew Jackson High School in Jamaica, Queens. A 4-year course. I did it in 3 years. My IQ is in the high 90s. So that I look up. 130 and above is high. 90 to 110 is average. So she's saying she's smarter than average, but I'm doing what I can. 80 to 90 is below average. 70 to 60, like 70 is borderline. That's funny. What that means is borderline to 70 and under, which is mental retardation. But here I was in home ec. So she did good in school, finished in 3 years, not 4.
Yeah.
But why doesn't she have her diploma, you're thinking? Home economics, she says. You had to sew. I can't sew. Because I couldn't make my own graduation dress, the principal denied my graduation, my going to college, and my diploma.
Wow, what a story.
What kind of bullshit is this? Makes no fucking sense. First of all, I took sewing as an elective. I couldn't sew. I was able to convince other girls who were good sewers that already finished their projects to make my project. I got an A in fucking sewing. Then you're not smart enough to finagle an A in sewing.
Yeah.
And no principal flunked you, denied your entry to any college. You'll never work in this America again because you didn't sew a graduation dress.
Well,
Liar.
that could have been true because it was like the 1940s or some shit like that. Like you have to consider like a pre-suffrage United States where they might have like to graduate from high school as a woman, you might have had to make a graduation dress. I could see that as being real.
Let's say
Okay.
let's Joe Rogan it. Let's say that stupidity's true,
No,
right?
but also fuck this woman. You know what I mean? She sounds terrible. And you said she was a Trumpian as well?
Yes, she happens to be. Yes. Did you I don't know, did you date your fucking principal? He didn't like to dress good enough. Just follow the fucking lines on the pattern and
Yeah.
it's done. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's presentable to the Oscars,
Yeah.
but if what Craig's saying is true, they just want to see you do something and you can't.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
are a men have their roles and women have their roles kind of broad. So it wasn't a point like, no, I'm a strong woman burning bras.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then under that context, yeah, I don't really understand this person. But congratulations to them for making an entire life out of themselves and then feeling the energy in their 94-year-old body that not to go get a salad, not to go get a taco, not to buy a beautiful hat, but I'm going to spend the energy and time graduating from fucking public high school.
But guess
Fuck
what happened?
that.
She didn't go back to public high school. They
No,
just put on a presentation and said, here's a diploma. Because you won it. Now it's a media event.
no.
She's not actually in class. Or she'd have one little joke about a class.
Yeah, she's full of
She
shit.
never had to make that dress.
How dare her make a mockery of this school system?
I'm in the New York Post since 1981. I'm living proof that nothing will ever happen to a person in life if they don't go to Harvard, Yale, Columbia. Well, it sounds like you're on the principal side, by the way.
Who,
Not
what world is she living in?
These are
All
insults
I
now.
hear are people that don't do, you know what I mean? That are
Right.
exceptional people, you know what I mean? Fucking Taylor Swift. I don't think she went to Harvard.
Well, this is what she's saying, actually. She's
Yeah,
saying,
right.
even if you don't go to Harvard, Yale, you're not a fucking loser. Now it's an insult going to college.
Yeah, of course.
Where the main subject is learning to hate your fellow human being. Next
Oh.
paragraph. Yeah, you
Hmm.
know what they doing in colleges now.
Yeah,
Sorry, in my
right.
days is reading arithmetic.
Yeah, right.
It was the
Right.
R's. I thank our gorgeous Governor Kathy Hochul, handsome Mayor Eric Adams, Schools Chancellor David Brinks, and the omnipotent Randy Weingarten with PR exec Robert Zimmerman for organizing this. A PR company organized this.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All
Cool.
right.
Thanks.
Plus, my 30-year friend Judge Judy, TV's highest paid star, who still owes me $7 for losing in gin.
I
The pri-
like I like Judge Judy.
well,
I
she
just want to be
supported her.
full transparency here. I do like Judge Judy.
She knows if you're pissing on her or if it's rain.
That's
Trust me.
that's the thing I like most about her.
The principal who knows where his remains now remain. First of all, you work for a newspaper company. Look it up. But I guess you were just getting off on his where his remains remain. That was very clever.
That is, it's funny.
Said to me, you cannot graduate, you can't go to college, and I will see to it that you cannot get your diploma. Then you ran over his favorite dog. This never fucking happened.
Yeah, yeah. I want to hear from the ghost.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to hear from the bones, from the remains.
Bullshit. I did what? Who has the time? A lifetime has passed. I've written a column 4 days a week in the New York Post since 1981. I've written books, none of which were in the school's library. Oh, they're still after you. These are the same people that kept my dad from making it in life.
It's like inviting yourself over to somebody's dinner that's already been cooked and then being like, I don't like that. Do you have anything else?
I've had a TV documentary where I've lived with kings, queens, and shahs. Interesting. And am now living proof that life doesn't end if you don't go to a fancy schmancy Ivy League school. Well, it's more about this high
What?
school, and then why'd you do it?
Yeah. Do you think Madonna didn't go to an Ivy League school? Who the fuck? Who does she think that the world is idolizing? Nobody.
Right.
Every one of my heroes, I think most of them didn't even go to college. And if they did, they try to hide it.
So the message is everyone, anyone can make it. It's a question of working and trying. You didn't work. They go, hey, here's a thing that'll help promote the post. Okay, here's a picture. Who can you get out here? Judge Judy and the mayor. Okay, okay. Everyone, anyone. I wonder if she had like that hat and she puts the other thing to the side, like, and thanks for the
I wonder if
plaque.
Judge Judy, I mean, it's just another old broad. You know what I mean? I
Right.
wonder if Judge Judy is like, yeah, I'll go.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Susan down the hall, like crazy
Right.
bat.
Anyone can make it. It's a question of working and trying and not being scared. You didn't do anything. You didn't go back to school. You told some made up story. They gave you a plaque. By the way, now you're acting like you graduated. I don't think the same way I did,
Yeah.
but I was able
Yeah,
to sell enough to get by.
I think
And
you're right.
because I'm a widow and an orphan, she says, just asking Keith Poole, the editor of the New York Post, to give me a raise. And remember the words of Irving Meyer Cicero, who at election time said, quote, listen, education is wonderful. It helps you worry about things all over the world. So is she shitting on the good, proper education? Like, I don't want to know about the problems in the world. Or is she saying now that I graduate high school, I know I'm more worldly? What the fuck is she saying?
She's pulling up a quote because this is in a New York paper, and New York people like to quote things that are intellectual. And this is a funny quote, and she's relating. It's like you just, yeah, I can even tell how it's written. It's like chatting with somebody at a dinner party that has a
Right,
soapbox. You know what I mean? It's
right.
very conversational. And as said, and then everybody like I visualize it like this, like, oh.
Yes.
That was great. That was great. That was great. Isn't she fun? Isn't she fun?
You know
All
what
right,
I'm
go back to
learning?
your CEO bag.
I'm learning I hate conversations.
I think you do.
I
I
think that's
think
what
you
I'm
do.
thinking. Here's how it ends. Listen, education is wonderful. It helps you worry about things all over the world. For me, only in New York, kids. Only in New York. So she said, yeah, so she's picking on colleges, I think. She doesn't need to know about the world. Only in New York do I care about. So that's so a college, high school diploma, that's plenty.
You might be reading into this a little bit too much, but I like it. You know what I mean? I think that you've proven your point here. A thinking man will find an issue in anything, and that's what education does for
And
us.
that's why I don't want education. Only in New York. What's only in New York? What? You didn't invent the line, so don't act like it's yours and just add it to anything. I had pizza with Kevin Bacon. Only in New York.
Keith, it's coming from a rag, man. I mean, there's no like lower tier than the page 6 gossip columnist on the New York Post.
But she angled for a for an honorary degree at a college.
Yes.
And they're like, no. You know
Yes.
what? High school diploma. How
Yeah.
about that? Well,
Yeah.
actually, I never did graduate. Okay, well, good. You want to know why? It wasn't because of my brains. My brains is high 90s.
Yeah. I was a
And they're like,
feminist.
no, we don't even care. Just
Can we dig up? All right.
quit
But
calling
can
about
we
an
dig up my
honorary
principal's bones?
right. Quit calling about an honorary college degree, and we'll shut you up with a high school degree. Okay,
Maybe.
but it's really over sewing. You rate what you want in your stupid article.
I
We
like
just
to
don't want
think
more
that
phone calls.
it wasn't even her. That's why she thinks that the world is giving this to her. It was her assistant that is always here, that went to college, that
Right.
is always hearing her talk about, I'm not even, I don't even have a high school diploma. And she was like, before this bitch dies, I'm going to take that away from her. That fucking cunt. I'll make the call. I'll do the work.
They actually served it to her. That's why Judge Judy was there. She was paid to be
Yeah.
a witness.
Yeah, yeah. The assistant walked down the hall and that she was like, All right, Judy. I know this is a lot to ask, but I really want to shut this bitch up. Can we do this? Can you help me out with this? Yeah, I'll hang the streamers. Yeah, I hate her too.
By the way, speaking of intelligence, because I want to do an IQ test against Cindy Adams now. It's International Left-Handers Day.
Yeah.
That's me.
Are you a left-hander?
I write with my left hand. Everything else I do with my right hand. And I wonder a little bit if I was trained or programmed that way. I know in the past, like I'm talking the 60s, they would tie your hand down so that you conform.
Mhm.
I wonder if my dad forced me to use my other hand, but writing was too much. That was too ingrained. I fire a gun with my right hand. I throw a ball with my right hand. I masturbate with my right hand, but I write. That's the big one with my left hand.
What's your stronger eye?
How do you tell that?
Like what which one like
My
if
left
you
eye, I think, is better.
if you like point to something,
Right.
right? With both of your eyes open, point
Right.
to something and then cover each of your eyes and which one is it actually like aligned up with?
So it's clearer. The left eye sees clear, but the lineup is my right eye.
So then
So I use both parts of my brain. You ever see that image where it's like a horse with vertical lines over it, and they're like, if your right brain, it goes to the right. If your left brain, you see the horse walking to the left. Mine stands
okay.
still. So I think I'm using all my brain constantly. So it gets very confusing. International Left-Handers Day is an international day observed annually. August 13th celebrates the uniqueness and the differences of left-handed individuals, first observed in 1976 by the Left-Handers Club. Well, I would assume it'd be them who did it, right?
Mhm.
I remember being in the army and they said, we're about to do rifles. And so they're like, all right, who's left-handed? We'll teach you left-handed how to shoot. I thought it was a trick. I'm like, no, I'm not, because you don't want to be singled out in boot camp.
Right.
I mean, one time, like halfway through boot camp, they said to everybody, like, "All right, now seriously, you might have learned this isn't for you. Who here doesn't want to be here?" And it's like, who's the dumb motherfucker that's going to raise their hand? It's a trick, you motherfucker. They're not just sending you home if you're not really into
Oh,
it.
I see, and I fall for these nuts all the time, and I also would have been like,
You would have been
"Oh,
digging
is
almost,
this an
yeah,
out? Yeah, sure, I'm good." Oh, okay, that
right.
means more push-ups, doesn't it? Fuck.
And I definitely didn't want to be left-handed. I mean, in school, uh, those left-handed scissors. Those are made for children. They're like safety scissors. They're not the same scissors, just somehow
That's
left-handed.
true. That's true.
They're fucking crazy. I don't think I want to be part of this group. So maybe that's what I was thinking. Uh, 10.6% of the world's population is left-handed. That's about 827 million people. Researchers have concluded that lefties tend to be artists, musicians, or have careers in the creative field. Obama's left-handed, and I'm liking his music picks. So that makes sense. That makes sense. That adds up. For thousands of years, southpaws were vilified as unholy, linked to various learning disabilities, and implicated in a range of behavioral and mental health conditions. Lefties are still referred to as sinistral in the scientific community, a term derived from the Latin word sinister, meaning to the left. Yeah, but it's also the word sinister. And then musicians, right? That comes musicians, the devil's music.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You know, if you play that song I mentioned backwards, Obama takes it from the back. Yeah. As recently as the 1960s, children were displayed tendencies towards left-handedness in the American public school system and were corrected and forced to write and eat with their right hand. One of the most widely quoted, I eat with my right hand. Fork with my right hand. One of the most widely quoted statistics about left-handed people is that they die on average 9 years earlier than right-handed people.
Because they're risk takers.
I think risk takers because the brain's always working. Both of them, for me. They found that left-handers were more than 5 times as likely to die in industrial and auto accidents. Perhaps they offered because it's harder for them to survive in a right-handed world. All I know is I keep hitting my head on shit. I wonder if that's related.
Oh, industrial. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that's true.
I'm not
Because
good around
everything is made
industrial
for a
shit.
right-hander. You know what I mean? Think about like your automobile, like the stick shift, like everything is like built
Right.
around a a right-handed person.
That's true. Famous lefty super geniuses include Albert Einstein, Aristotle, Charles Darwin, Friedrich Nietzsche. I don't know about him. Benjamin Franklin, Sir Isaac Newton.
Yeah.
Some suggest that left-handed geniuses stem from being forced to use both sides of their brain more often. That's what I'm talking about. Allowing lefties to process large amounts of information more readily. Okay.
I don't think it counts for you.
No?
Now, if you're throwing a ball with your right hand,
Yeah.
then you're right-handed.
Okay.
I think that's it. I think writing left-handed is something that
You
somebody
don't think that's
taught
the
you.
main one?
No.
Somebody taught me left-handed? No, I remember being in school and you know how people, so left-handies would smudge their paper with their wrist because you're walking it that way. I put my paper at a 90-degree angle. I still do this to this day.
Yes.
And then that forces your wrist up and you don't have any problems. Teachers kept trying to make my paper be straight, like somehow I'm going to look like an idiot in an office or something. But I don't remember them, but they definitely didn't try. They would have wanted me to be right-handed, and then they couldn't. So then they're like, well, at least look more normal in society. For some reason,
it's just so weird that you only write with your left hand. Throwing a ball is like the simplest.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The simple things I can change.
You could do a left-handed throw?
I think I could do a left-handed throw. Not as good, but yes, I could. I could not write with my right hand. It wouldn't be close, but I bet I can I could shoot a target or something like that with my other hand. I can't write with my other hand.
Because I'm thinking like if you never had to write, right? Which like most of civilization never did.
Correct.
Then you would be a right-handed.
Yes, if you
took away, you would have never used your left hand dominantly for anything.
I don't know. Was I changed as a kid? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Right. But I mean, changed to right-handed. But nobody's going to teach me to write left-handed.
Your dad is a weirdo.
He would be. I don't think he's left-handed, so he would want it'd be whatever he did. If he's right-handed, which I think he is, he would.
No, but I believe that he would be making it so that he could punish. You know, I don't know what your dad is capable of.
He makes me left-handed so he can correct it later.
Yeah, or that he could call you a beast, sinister.
Right, he is sinister.
Did he ever call you sinister?
Other hand, devil. No, but he did say I was possessed. So. Lefties also had more behavioral problems and speech problems. That checks out.
What is your
speech therapy? And you hear me now. I don't know. Everybody tells me I can't talk.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you do talk for a living, but it's an accent thing.
It's kind of like it's very impressive for people saying I can't talk and that I made this a career. You know, me and Cindy Adams, that we got to where we are. It's pretty amazing.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
It's actually amazing.
The proportion of left-handed elite athletes is notably higher. See, maybe it turns out I can break dance after seeing Australia and this new fact.
Yeah. I mean, what we've learned is that left-handed people are exceptional and right-handed people are fucking losers.
It's our day and we can finally say it. One day.
I did mention that I'm right-handed too, right?
Yes, we know.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't pole vault, though. I know that. Dick's too big. Vincent van Gogh was left-handed. Well, I saw his work. He could have used his right a little bit, right? And Vincent van Gogh, he's the one who cut off his left ear.
Yeah, he didn't need it.
But with his left hand, he had to cut off his left ear? This guy's psychotic. That is not easy.
Well, what do you
with those scissors?
Oh,
with
you're
those
right.
bad scissors?
If I was left-handed, I would cut off
the opposite. Yeah.
Right. So maybe he cut with his right ear. You're right. That doesn't make much sense.
Yeah. So that means he really wanted to make a point to this woman.
Oh, no, maybe because you get a better pull.
On the other one, you get a better pull.
You get, but you know, because I can feel getting a better pull with my right hand. You know what I mean? Like I'm pulling the ear while I'm cutting it. So I'm doing more of like a rip motion and letting the knife just cut through. You have to assume that they had pretty sharp blades back then because they were probably using it for a lot of shit.
Some of his paintings look like he used a fucking butter knife.
That's
Anyways,
true.
whatever. I am good at those New York Times puzzles until they fuck me. Until they fuck you. Sally's not a yeah, Wordle, Sally, Macaw. Fuck out of here. Sometimes it's like, are we out of words, Wordle? The fuck? I gotta ask, like, I don't want to hints in the
See,
Wordle,
the
but
more you
is it
know,
a
the
word
angrier you
today?
get.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, she was right. She
She
was
was
right.
right. She
Why are
was
you
right.
upset all the time, Keith? Because I'm a goddamn genius.
You wouldn't believe what my IQ was.
I yeah, I would like a so you know the movie Saw,
Yeah.
SAW, and
Yeah.
you know
I've heard of it. I
it,
haven't ever seen it.
okay. It starts with like they'd find a somebody's a murderer, somebody's a this, somebody's a that, and then they have to solve these puzzles, and which cuts off your arm or something like this, and somehow they leave a better person. Somebody thought about the suicide, so they had to go through the puzzle, lose an arm or a leg, and then realize I actually do appreciate life. No, it doesn't make any sense. So that then it even gets weaker. Like you cheated on your taxes this year. Now you're gonna lose all your fucking teeth in a puzzle. I want to see a Saw movie but the victims are people that make popular puzzles. And
Oh,
then I
I
want
thought you
to
were gonna say people that cheat on the puzzles.
cheat on the puzzles is a good one. But
Hmm.
now I'm more angry at the puzzle makers.
Didn't you get a clue when you were on your fourth guess? Didn't you?
Right. And this puzzle starts with a K and there's four letters. You're dead. I'm picturing the puzzle makers like you've driven the smartest minds mad. So based on your thinking, we put a puzzle together. It's like, oh, I didn't know that was a word.
Oh my
Right now, you're
God.
missing the tongue.
If there was a Saw thing where it was one of those wordles where the 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 third and the fifth letter, like there are literally like 19 words
Yeah.
that have different letter combinations
Yes.
there, and it's just a
Toast,
crapshoot.
toast.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
off.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I
That's
hate
how
starting my day
I'll
that
get
way.
you.
I'd put those
Yeah.
motherfuckers in there. God damn it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Oh well.
And
Anyway, this goes.
actually you get your leg cut off if you get it right. There's the twist.
You know, and then the saw guy has to have a meeting when he puts me in the puzzle. He's like, "What hand is more important to him? I can't fucking tell. I need you to reach
He
for
says he
something before
throws
the."
a ball with the right hand, so
Who is this fucking guy? Probably smart enough to beat all these puzzles. He's gonna come out unscathed. Let me mention this 5 on it. It's the call-in show that Craig Klein does with Mallory. They're gonna start doing their shows again on the 24th of this month.
On the
Uh,
24th, we're coming back hot. We've got a musical guest that
nice.
we're coming. I don't want to reveal too much yet, but it's going to be really good. So yeah, we decided to take a couple weeks off. We are really proud of what we've done in these first 5 episodes, and we're just kind of honing some of the things that we want to do better. And to be honest with you, since we started this kind of thing, which was really kind of fast out of the gun, we haven't had any time to kind of reset and like hone it in, and we're
Gotcha.
going so fast. So I think that this will be a new version of it for
Oh, you're on a
everybody
new
to.
season already.
We're on a like if the first 5 episodes were like our beta version, I
Okay.
think this will be like the 2.0. And
We were in the preseason.
we were in, yeah, we were in a pre. It was like a dress rehearsal,
Okay.
and a lot of the criticisms that you or the
Me?
a lot of the thoughts that you gave, like, how are you going to line up these calls and stuff like that,
Hmm.
and how are you going to get these things? And I knew it was going to be a building experience, and I think that we just kind of understand how better to build the community that we want to do, and how we want to format the show, and how we want to communicate to our audience better. So it's all really actually very, very good things. We're really in a very good place with the
I
show. I'm
love good
really excited to
things.
come back. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
I'm very excited to come back, and I hope everybody is excited to have us back.
Absolutely. And Mallory's birthday is the 14th, I happen to know. And
Holy cow.
so plan something. That's your work partner.
Holy cow.
Yeah. They remember that shit. They remember
There
how
we
they
go.
feel. You know what I mean?
I do. I do actually. I do.
Thanks everybody. KeithandTheGirl.com/VIP. Talking with the Moros yesterday was so fun. I really gave these airports and airplanes the fucking business. And of course, we record the Q&A shows are always fun. We have some people from the chat join us who know Keith and the Girl for years, and that's fun because they give their take on old things that we talked about. We go back 20 years on whatever date that happens to be. What are our thoughts? What are our feelings? What's in the news? Is history repeating itself? Spoiler, it is. And I
Q&A
think
is so good.
it's very fun. It's so
I
fun.
love Newsy so much.
Yeah.
I love the show and I love the recap of old things. And it's so fun to see not necessarily where the show was or whatever, but it just brings up a time capsule for whatever was going on in that era of life, whatever was in the news, whatever was in pop culture. And it's so fun to dish on it with people that, yeah, and it's a long form show, so nothing like a long bath, or if you're cleaning your house,
Yeah.
throw on a newsy show, and before you know it, all the windows are done, the floors are mopped,
Mm-hmm.
and you've hung out with your friends for quite some time. Shout out to the chat pack.
And I mentioned the other day, My Name is Keith. That's the show where me and the guest get drunk. And, we had to grow up eventually, so we don't do that anymore. But if you're new to it, it's a very fun surprise. Craig was on it as a three-parter. Um, it's so good. I'm so proud of those shows. I think you'll
I'm
dig it.
telling you, our episode was literally life changing.
All
And
right.
also what kind of it has all started in very recent times, leveling itself out. So if you're a fan of Five on It and you go back and listen to the show that I did with Keith Malley, and this is no bullshit, that was the beginning of I think how Five on It actually has come to be. That there was the genesis.
There you go.
So
And
it's weird that you bring that up because I've been thinking about
and they say drinking is evil. Here we are now. Here we are now.
that.
Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. That's it.
Peace.
Thank you. Very fun.